Welcome to the Frontline Herbalism podcast with your host Nicole Rose from the Solidarity Apothecary. This is your place for all things plants and liberation. Let's get started. Hello, welcome back to the Frontline Herbalism podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the last 3 episodes, which were kind of the audio version of a webinar that took place in May about state repression, trauma and the body. Just a reminder to take a listen to those, and you can find the links in the show notes to watch the kind of whole thing like as a webinar with slides and like with all the resources at your fingertips. This is just like a mini choppy episode with a few announcements, and then I'm coming back very soon with the series all about the Medical Self-Defense Network, who are an amazing network of medics and healthcare organisers around the world, people working on the front line in Ukraine, people doing street medic work at riots and demonstrations, people organising harm reduction work in the so-called US. Like, I've got a whole series of episodes that are amazing interviews with very inspiring people. So I'm super excited to launch that. I just wanted to share a couple of things. So one is that we've got an event next week about the clinic that we do in Calais. So if you didn't know, part of a project called the Mobile Herbal Clinic Calais, we operate a dedicated mobile clinic that takes place the first week of each month in Calais and Dunkirk. And it offers preventative medicine, self-care support, first aid and healthcare access support to hundreds of refugees and undocumented migrants living in the region. I've mentioned the clinic several times, and we're going to have an interview with someone I organise with a lot and love a lot, Victor, that will hopefully come out next week, so you can hear a bit more about the clinic. But basically, we're really kind of trying to focus now on building our team. So each month, a team of 4 people like go to Calais and Dunkirk. Some people are from the UK, others are from France or different countries. But we normally have someone who's like a clinical supervisor. So like someone who's a doctor or a medical herbalist with like 5+ years of post-graduation, like active practice. A field coordinator, so that's normally me, who like organises the trip, and a communications assistant who supports with translation and sharing information about local health services. And finally, like 2 herbal first aiders who are really, kind of triaging and asking people different questions and giving out medicine and doing like first aid dressings and stuff. And they're supported obviously by the rest of the team. And a person can be in more than one role as well. So it is no small challenge trying to find the right group of people. We've had 3 trips cancelled this year because of not being able to have the right kind of mix of team members, which has been quite devastating. So we'd really love more people to get involved, and the info night is just a kind of like no pressure. There's just going to be a presentation talking about the project, and then people can ask questions that they have. Everyone is welcome to join, whether you're a super experienced herbalist or a student or a doctor without much knowledge of herbal medicine. We really want people to come along. So that's next Monday, the 28th of August at 7 p.m. And we're asking people to register their interest and be sent the kind of cool link to info@mobileherbalclinic.org. And I'll put a link in the show notes, but I made a blog post recently about 4 ways to support the Mobile Herbal Clinic Calais, which has got links to our donation page. We're still really in need of funds. Each trip costs around £2,400. At the moment we're literally fundraising trip by trip, which is pretty laborious. So thank you if you're one of the people who bought a t-shirt recently. So that was point 1, was like, please donate. The second one was volunteer in Calais. And then the third option to support the clinic is actually becoming like a remote translation volunteer. So we've experimented with like everything under the sun, whether it's like having in-person translators or just using Google Translate or different apps. But what we've really found effective is having like this kind of pool of people on standby who we can call if needed, and they can do like simultaneous translation on the phone, which means they don't have to be there. They don't have to come to Calais for a whole week and only be kind of translating like a couple of those days, depending on the language. And yeah, if people aren't free, they just don't need to reply on the group chat. So if you'd like to join the WhatsApp group, please email us, let us know your languages, and we'll add you in. And we've also shared a graphic with a bunch of stuff that we need, like regular items that we need, which are things that we can manufacture kind of ourselves. Like we make all our own medicine, but these are kind of like first aid items and disposable items that are, we have to basically buy every month. So if you can blag any for free at work, that'd be amazing. The list includes musculoskeletal supports, Meepo, like island dressings, sterile swabs, saline bottles, that's like wound washing, heat packs, packaging, Ziploc plastic bags, masks, hand sanitizer, new gloves and socks, medical gloves, conforming bandages, blister plasters, paper cups, tongue depressors, baby wipes, and Epsom salts. So if you can help us out with any of those things, please email us at info@mobileherbalclinic.org, and we'll really love that. Another exciting announcement is that I have made my Overcoming Burnout book free for the month of August, like the ebook version. Yeah, I know people have heard me talk about The Prisoner's Herbal a lot, but this is like a kind of other book that I wrote where basically I got really, really, really sick, and then I spent a long time trying to get better, which led me to kind of do my clinical training. But I'll read the blurb. Okay, so organizing with others for human, animal, and earth liberation can be one of the most empowering experiences alive. Yeah, frontline resistance comes with risks to our physical and emotional health that can lead many people to burn out and abandon social movements altogether. This book is about overcoming burnout, linking the author's journey of recovery with wider systemic forces such as classism, sexism, and power dynamics in groups, poverty, chronic illness, and ableism, as well as grief and trauma from prison and state repression. It is a call for models of mutual aid and collective care, simultaneously deeply personal and acutely political. For anyone involved in grassroots organising, it is a must read. So the reason I've done that is because even though it's summer and everyone's like, woo, summer, like what I see around me is like a lot of people really struggling, like a lot of people just really frazzled and kind of nervously exhausted from their work, from their organising, from their lives, from chronic stress they're experiencing. And I just hope that it is like a helpful resource for people. So I will put a link in the show notes of where you can get that, and you just use the code BURNOUT in capitals. That's only got like a week left now before I'll charge for it again. I mean, it's only £3 to be fair, but I know everyone likes a freebie. Okay, and another exciting announcement, I'm doing a talk with the Solidarity Apothecary online about herbalism, incarceration, and abolition. So it's going to be Thursday, the 5th of October for an hour and a half, and I'm just going to read the blurb. This workshop will explore the role of herbalism in supporting prisoners, families, and communities affected by incarceration, and herbalist roles in the abolition of these systems of oppression. There are more than 11.5 million people incarcerated worldwide, including a massive 2.2 million in the so-called United States. Most are completely excluded from herbalism, yet many can find plants cracking through the concrete. These plants can bring hope, connection, and health support to people experiencing the worst of state violence. In this workshop, we will explore the health impacts of incarceration and look at herbal strategies to support people experiencing stress and PTSD. We will look at some of the practical uses of plants commonly found in prison yards and how to make medicine with next to no medicine-making gear. Together, we will explore abolition as a framework and the role of herbalists within these movements. And it's going to be a little fundraiser. And I'm going to use the funds to, sponsor getting the books, the Prisoner's Herbal books, to people in prison. I've already announced it, but just a reminder that my herbalism, PTSD, and traumatic stress course is launching at the end of September. Please, please, please sign up to the waiting list if you can. It's getting quite full, which is very exciting, and I'm starting to think maybe I might need to limit it just in terms of capacity of like onboarding so many people at once. So if you're interested, I really strongly encourage you to sign up if you can. And I know I mentioned it before, but this week is the week of solidarity with Anarchist prisoners. I'll put the link in the show notes, but I'd really encourage you to check out some of the resources online, to write to someone in prison, to organise some sort of banner drop or action or event if you can. All right, I think that's all of my little announcements. Yes, please join us in the Calais Info Night if you can. I'm also doing a series on Instagram about herbalism and for hyper-responsibility and chronic stress, which I think I'm going to try and record all the episodes like as a kind of podcast at some point, but definitely check that out if that's something you can relate to. If you're dealing with kind of chronic stress and tension and overwhelm, then I'm sharing about some plant babes on there. Okay, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of the episodes this week, all about the Medical Self-Defense Network. Thanks for listening. Please, please, please review the show if you can. Yeah, thank you so much and speak soon. Thanks so much for listening to the Frontline Herbalism podcast. You can find the transcripts, the links, all the resources from the show at solidarityapothecary.org/podcast.